inspirational, empowering, spiritual. This is the Way Christian Talk. Hello again. This is your host to the Way Christian Talk, Shelly LJ. Hey y'all, how's your mama now? I hope that everybody is doing good tonight. I am so excited to be here with you guys. We are back. If you saw my show last week, we were talking about missing kids. And I do have an update. 2 of the kids were found. They're at home and they're safe. So I'm really, really happy to be able to tell you guys about that. And so I'm really excited about that. Today, I'm also excited because today is our happy Thursday. It's almost Friday, y'all. It's almost Friday. We just have a little bit to go. Just tomorrow is, thank God, it's Friday, and then we can go ahead and sleep in on Saturday. We may have to get a little bit early up for church on Sunday, but it's all good. And then we'll start all over again. And I'll see you guys back here next Thursday. Alrighty. So today I'm excited because I have a really special guest. I met him a few years ago, and he is the founder and of the organization called PASS. That's where I met him. Now he has it's called PASS, is Protection Against Search and Seizure. He has done that for a really long time, just to help our community to know what that means. And we're going to get into that a little bit. But the biggest thing is that he has written a book. His name is Zion, but the author of the book is Timothy. And so I am just really glad. I'm really glad to have him as a guest today. I'm really glad that he is here. We are going to talk about this book, and we're going to talk about it in detail. It's called My Serial Killer, the Silent Saboteur, Hypertension. And so without any ado, I just want to let you know that he finds joy in helping people to correct their lives while empowering them to lead a healthy lives. His testament as an author, he believes in the knowledge is best proven through tangible, positive outcomes. He's mentioned that his process is centered around thoughts, theory, and application and results. The treasure of simplicity becomes the foundation upon which the author builds a narrative that seamlessly waves personal experience, knowledge, and heartfelt dedication to the well-being of others. So in My Serial Killer, readers encounter not just a guide through health, but compassion caring individuals who has walked the walk, creating the book that is not only informative, but resonates with authority, with authenticity. With resonates through authenticity. I am excited to have him on. I'm excited that he is here with us. And no further ado, Zion, how are you? I can't hear you. Okay. I think you have yourself muted.
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
All right.
How are you doing?
How are you? I'm fine, thank you. Yeah.
I have not talked to you in such a long time.
It's been a while, and it's good though that we can catch up in 2024.
Yes.
I've branched out. When we first met, um, the work and advocacy that I was doing was PASS, Protection Against Search and Seizure. Since then, I've picked up two other initiatives. I'm doing the health initiative, which the book is centered
Mhm.
around the health initiative, which is called Hypertension Hack, the clinic. And we look to help people bring their levels back to normal. And, we look to
Mhm.
help them get off the medication. And the other one is the Heritage Initiative. So
Okay.
between the Justice Initiative, the Health Initiative, and the Heritage Initiative, these three initiatives work well together in, building the full potential of individuals, families, communities across the board.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I
Okay.
definitely want to
Well, I
talk about all
definitely
of
want to
them. I
talk
know
about
that
all
when
of them.
I
I know
first
that
met
when I
you,
first met
you had
you had
started an organization,
started an organization,
and it was called
and
Pass
it was
Protection
called
Against
Pass
Search
Protection
and
Against
Seizure.
Search and
How
Seizure.
is that going?
How's that going?
Protection against search and seizures is still alive. It's been moving sort of slow.
Okay.
Unfortunately, our people are so reactionary. It's painful, but protection against search and seizure. We had a victory here, the I guess within the last year.
Okay.
And me myself, I've experienced immunity for the past 20 years. And in building protection against search and seizure, it's been to explain the principles behind how these things are done, that we can actually be protected, from law enforcement, out here on the street. But we had a victory, here within the last year, because I was arrested and I was charged with five different charges, and two of them were considered, really serious charges.
Oh, wow.
But
Oh wow.
in using the principles and the research and the research from Protection Against Search and Seizure, once the solicitor took a look at all the evidence, they sent me a notice in the mail saying they were not going to prosecute. And
Okay.
that notice is something I was holding as a flag to all of the experts and professionals, trying to explain to individuals they have it all wrong. And where
Okay.
they were trying to say that we have it all wrong, I'm like, okay, we now have even more evidence, because we were engaged by law enforcement, and or not we, but I instilled the principal tenets of the research. And for all the things that they were trying to charge me for, which the average person, if it had happened to them, they would have went to jail, or they would have had to pay thousands of dollars in order to, be rid or done with it. But because I stuck to the research, and the
Mhm.
concept behind protection against search and seizure, they did not want to pursue it. And I'm now looking to sue the agency for a violation of my rights, or more specifically, a violation of my Fourth Amendment right. And protection against search and seizure is Fourth Amendment advocacy. A lot of people are
Mhm.
familiar with Second Amendment advocacy, but I'm looking to be the subject matter expert as it pertains to the Fourth Amendment, and actually getting people to understand how it works in real time, that you can get the benefit from it. I
Right.
hate the fact that we feel like, or we say we have rights, but at the end of the day, no one seems to understand how to get the benefit from the right. That doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense, but I'm
It
glad
doesn't
that you
make
did
sense.
had
But I'm
a
glad that
had
you
had
did
a victory
had a
in it. I
victory
mean,
in
you're
it.
right.
I
A lot of
mean,
other
you're
people
right. A lot
that
of other people that
um would
um,
have gotten arrested
would have gotten arrested
maybe would still be in
maybe would
jail
still be in jail
That's
because
correct.
yeah, because
because
they
yeah,
don't
because
know
they
how
don't
to
know
enforce
how to enforce
those rights.
those rights.
That's correct.
Well, good for you.
I met
Good for
some
you.
people. I met some people while I was there. It was interesting. I learned while being there, I learned about the cash bail. I met some guys that have been there for a year, 2 years, just because they couldn't pay a bond. And I'm like, it's horrible,
Oh,
but
wow.
I've experienced immunity for over 20 years. And I've had to fight with our people to get them to understand what these concepts are, because the experts and professionals come in and try to say, oh, no, don't do that, or you can't do that, or oh, you'll get in trouble, for doing
Mhm.
that. And I'm saying, hey, guys, they work for them, and they're not really about the interest, of the people. So it sounds strange what I'm doing, but we get results.
Mm.
Mm.
I am glad that,
I am glad
that you
that
definitely took that
that you
stand,
definitely took
because
that stand, because
there's still such a need.
there's still such a need.
There's still such a
There's
huge
still such a
need
huge
to
need
still
to
educate,
still educate,
our community
our community
in protection
in
against certain
protection
things.
against certain things.
Now,
Right.
since the last
Now, since
time
the
that
last
I did
time
see
that
you,
I did see you,
you've written a book,
you've written a book,
A
and
part of the health
and
initiative.
a part of the health
a
initiative.
part of
Now,
the
I
health
must tell
initiative.
you,
Now,
I
I
Mhm.
was
must
really
tell you,
interested in
I
this
was
book
really interested in
because
this book
I
because
am one of the
I
women
am
in our
one of the women
community
in our
that
community
deal with
that deal with
hypertension and
hypertension
diabetes.
and diabetes.
Okay.
And so, in
And
reading your
so,
book, I
in
must
reading
tell
your
you,
book, I must tell you,
it was a unique
it was
read.
a unique
I had
read.
never seen
I
some of
had
the
never seen
verbiage
some of the verbiage
that how you put things.
how you
It
put
made
things.
it
It made it
a very
a
interesting
very
concept and an
interesting
interesting
concept and an
story of
interesting story
what we
of
need to do, which
what we
was
need to do, which was
a a
a
catch reader.
a
And
catch.
so I really
And so
did.
I really did.
I did enjoy it.
I
I
did
did
enjoy
enjoy
it.
it.
I did enjoy
Now,
it.
some of the things
Now, some
that
of the
why did
things
you decide
that
to
why
call
did
it
you
the
decide to
serial
call it the
killer?
serial killer?
Oh, well, because I was playing, on the word serial,
Mhm.
um, from the standpoint of what we know a serial killer to be, but
Mhm.
the serial killer, in the way I spelled it, is also one of the greater proponents in this discussion is about the foods we eat.
Right. Right. And I
So,
did get
you
that in
Right.
the
And
know,
I
book
did
when
get
you
that in
talked
the book
about
when you
right.
talked about
the cereal that you
the
were
cereal
eating and
that you
how
were eating and how
it does
it
cause
does
high
cause
it
high
causes
it
more high
causes
blood pressure
more
and
high blood
more
pressure and
sugar
more sugar
elevations
elevation
because
The
of
things, yes.
because
the
of
things that's in it.
Mhm.
the
Being
things that's in
focused
it.
on the things that we eat. And I kind of get, into the science of it. But let me back up a little bit. The way the book came about and the whole health initiative, passively, I've been helping people for years with sugar diabetes and hypertension to correct their levels, right?
Mhm.
So it just dawned on me to like get serious with it. There was one young lady. She had been on the hypertension meds for over 6 7 years, and I
Mhm.
asked her, I said, well, would you like to get off your meds? And she said, I don't know. And I had this puzzled look. I said, you don't know? I said, so what, you want to stay sick?
Right.
And when she heard that, she was like, well, no, I don't want to be sick. So, yeah, I want to get off the meds, you know.
Mhm.
So, after 30 days within the program, she corrected all of her levels and everything had fallen back to normal. She was celebrating, she was excited. I said, well, now, excuse me. I said, well, now you don't have to take your meds. She said, oh, no, I'm going to take my meds. I said, okay, well, you take your meds. Well, she did that for about 3 more months. And then finally, she decided to check with her doctor, and her doctor told her, she could come off the meds. But once those levels come back, there's no need, to take the medication. So these are the type of results that I have been providing over the years. So I decided, after looking at the startling numbers behind hypertension and really seeing that from 2022, I'm sorry, from 2013 up to 2022, there was a 30% increase in
Mhm.
our children now
Mhm.
being a part of this number. So it just didn't seem like anyone was really doing anything to help us understand how not to be victims, to hypertension. So I just decided to like write the book, put the course together, and I'm launching a pilot program, here, or I'm calling it a clinic, to where I'm looking to enlist 20,000 people. And we, want to use the information to then show how effective, it
Okay.
is. And in this, we're not using placebos, but in this, in this study, I would like to show the good, the bad, and the ugly, because it's going to be successful for a lot of people. It won't
Mhm.
be successful for some, and we want to be able to talk about why it wasn't successful for others outside of just highlighting, all of the good. Now, I would say this: in the past, the only reason there would be a lack of success is an individual not taking it serious, an
Okay.
individual, not following the steps of the program. Like I had a gentleman, he had come into the program, had he had suffered, from hypertension over, 10 years, always elevated levels with his blood pressure. And he got into the program, and his numbers started, trending in the right direction. And, all of a sudden, he wasn't communicating. And when things like that happen, I'm like, oh snap, they falling off the bandwagon,
Right.
But he stopped communicating, he went dark. And when I finally, got in touch with him, he says, oh man, I stopped. And things like that baffle me. I'm like, how can you see your numbers trending in the right direction and you give up? you
Mhm.
know.
Mhm.
So in this program, not only is it about, the course and the instruction, I'm also looking to build support systems for individuals that when you're going through this, you don't feel like you're in it, by yourself. So from a community standpoint, it's something we're coming in, grassroots and grounds up. So it's going to take everybody
Mhm.
participating and, putting in their understanding and helping others. For example, if you go through this program and you become successful, I would expect for you within the support group being able to share with others like what your strong points, what your weak points were. Another good thing about this program is I challenge individuals to journal, the entire 30 days,
Mhm.
right? So then they can look back and kind of see how their progress was. They can have something from a historical standpoint to always look at. One other
Right.
thing I'll speak on, since you asked, and I did mention it's a 30-day program. I was asked like, well, why do you call it a 30-day program? I call it 30-day program because within the 30 days, that's when you should expect to see your results,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
But after the 30 days, we then go into another phase. For example, I start talking about arteries and how, we can use certain elements to unclog, the arteries. And, it's like once we get on this point, it doesn't make sense to get off it and go back to the bad habits. This program is really about cultivating, better habits, lifestyle
Mhm.
change. And a lot of people, they say they want it, but they're not willing to fight for it.
It's not,
It's not,
I wouldn't say not willing
I
to
wouldn't
fight
say
for
not
it.
willing to fight
As
for it.
having
As
diabetes
having diabetes
for years, for
for
almost
years,
20 years,
for almost 20 years,
um,
um,
a lot of the
a lot of the
information that we
information
have now, we
that
didn't
we
have
have
20
now,
years
we
ago.
didn't have 20 years ago.
So all the information
So
that we
all the
had
information that we
was
had was
take the
take the
medication, take the
medication,
shots
take
of
the shots
insulin, or
of
take oral
insulin, or take
medication. And
medication.
now we have a lot more
Now we have a lot
information,
more
like your book,
information,
where it
like
talks
your
about
book, where
eating
it talks
healthier,
about eating
choosing the
healthier,
right foods,
choosing the right
looking
food,
at food
looking
coloring,
at
and making
food
sure
coloring, and
that
making
you're
sure
not
that
adding food
you're not adding
coloring
food
that
coloring
is going
that
to
is going to
hurt you or harm you.
hurt you or harm you.
Looking at
Looking
the
at the
the information on the
the
back
information on the
of
back of
an item
an
to
item to
also see how
also
many
see how many
carbohydrates, how much
carbohydrates,
sodium,
how
how
much
much.
sodium.
That was not told.
That was
I
not
remember
told. I
taking
remember taking
the nutritional
the
class
nutritional
20 years
class
ago,
20 years ago
and taking the nutritional
and taking
class
the nutritional class
today is
today
so different.
so different.
Hmm.
So I
So
really do
I
appreciate, and
really do appreciate, and
I think people get
I
into a
think
rut
people get
of
into a rut of
wanting to eat what they want
wanting to eat what they want
Mhm.
and really not thinking
and
about the
really not
consequences.
thinking about the consequences.
So
Okay.
now you have
So
to start thinking
now
about
you
the
have to start thinking about
consequences.
the consequences.
And like today, I went to the
And
doctor,
like today, I went to the doctor,
and he said
and he said
that you
that
can
you
get
can
rid of this, but you
get
have to be
rid of this, but
serious.
you have to be serious.
Now, I think
Yeah.
Now, I think
we don't get
we're not
serious
we
until
don't
we
get
start seeing
serious
some of
until
the
we start seeing some
complications
of the
from it.
complications from
That our life
that our
is a little
life
bit
is a
altered
little bit altered
from the diabetes and the
from
Yes.
the diabetes
hypertension.
and the hypertension.
And so I've just
So
recently
I've just
started on my
started
journey
on my
of
journey
intermittent
of
fasting.
intermittent fasting.
And so,
And
I've been watching like
I've been
my
watching like my
carbohydrates, my sugar,
carbohydrates,
my
my sugar,
sodium,
my sodium,
and
and
it has been challenging,
has
but
been
the
challenging.
biggest
But the
challenge that
biggest
I've
challenge
found
that I
is the
found is
increase
the
of
increase
price
of
of
price
food.
of
To
food.
eat
To
healthy
eat healthy
Okay.
is so
is so
expensive.
expensive.
That is a key part of my program. And I just want to back up a little bit because you were talking about the information being different. I think I have a different experience than you. I'm more to say the information has always been there.
Mhm.
It's just that the institutions, the way they guide people more towards, like I said, the experts and these professionals, they really have it all wrong. But that's who we put our trust in. For
Mhm.
example, back in 2000, I had a sister that was dealing with diabetes, and they were talking about putting her on insulin, and they gave her the diet plan, and she did her best, to stick to that diet plan, but her numbers they just kept going up,
Mhm.
and she was
Mhm.
frustrated. So when I met with her, we did the same 30 days, and I put her on pole beans and apples, juiced it.
Mm.
Gave her that fast for 30 days. When she went back, everything was perfect. They were asking her, like, how did you do it? And to me, the information has always been available. It's just society and how we've been positioned to go about health, listening to these experts and these professionals, they've guided us wrong. So um, when I talk about my program and the food, I realize that it can be expensive. So I created within a food structure inexpensive things that can help an individual stay the course. Because that's one of the things I looked at in analyzing it. I'm like, man, if this is not affordable, people are not going to be able to stick with it. So
Mhm.
across the board, I made this to where it would just be affordable for the average person, right?
Mhm.
Now, um, one of the key components, like you're talking about, the sodium, cholesterol, and things of that nature, one of the key components, the first thing I do is tell an individual, you got to stop all processed and prepackaged food. So
Mhm.
now they have to understand, what that is. But
They have to
giving
cook.
away
They have
one
to
of
cook.
hmm?
They have to cook.
They have to cook.
Well, yeah, you have to cook, but you have to stay away from processed and prepackaged foods because that's the culprit. That's the number one culprit.
Mm.
Once you eliminate the processed and the prepackaged foods, you then give yourself a chance, your system now a chance to heal and rebuild. But one of the issues a lot of people have would be the what do you call it? The urges,
The
the
craving.
habits,
The
the
craving.
cravings. Yes,
Mm.
thank you. People have cravings because you think, we talk about drug addiction and alcohol addiction, man. Food addiction is like on another level.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what, having a support system is about, having someone, to talk to help you get through, these things. Otherwise, people turn back to the bad habits. But processing pre-packaged foods, that's the number one issue. You
Now,
cut that out
Now,
and you're halfway there.
let me ask you a question.
let me
In
ask you
your
a question.
book,
In your book,
the
the
the inserts that you
the
sent me.
inserts that you sent me.
Now they didn't
Now
have
they didn't have
um
um,
how to's
how to
and like a
Right.
and
menu
like
or
The
buys. Now is that
how-tos.
in your
now
book?
is that in your book?
Yeah, no, the how-tos is actually in the second part, which is hypertension hack, the clinic.
Okay.
And let me say this:
Okay.
the name of the book is My Serial Killer, the Silent Saboteur, Hypertension. Right? Thomas Eli Michael, is the pen name, that I have on it. Everyone knows, my name is Zion.
Hmm.
Um, the hypertension hack is all of the how to. And that's the clinic that I'm asking, individuals to come and participate, in this clinic. So we have a website. It's called moxmotor.com, moxmotor.com. That's going to be up and running, here real soon. People can then register, for the clinic, and they'll be able to get, the books and all the other information that I
Spell
have
that again.
Spell
available.
that again.
Mox Motor, MOXMOTOR, Mox Motor, moxmotor.com. So that's the site that we'll have. Hopefully we can have it up and going, before the end of this month.
Hmm.
And Hypertension Hack, the clinic, will be open and, ready to get people back into a greater health, condition, actually helping individuals to rebuild their immune systems. And that's interesting because years ago I used to do these little videos called Simple Things to Do to boost your immune system and things of that nature. So
Hmm.
it was just time, for me to create this program and start writing these books and just put that initiative out there. And again, because it didn't really seem to me that there was an affordable option out here, for our
Hmm.
people to get into and to be able to, sustain it. So, I'm doing this, and I'm not doing it from the standpoint of how much money I can make,
Hmm.
because once I put the program together, the council was coming and saying, okay, you can charge, anywhere between 1,500 and 2,500, for your courses and, for your materials. And I was like, I won't be able to help the people I want to help with those, type numbers. So
Right.
um, I do have it at a $1,500 price, but I rebate it down to $100. So,
Okay.
um, individuals can come and be a part
Now
of
is that
this.
$100 flat fee
$100 flat fee.
Well, I say $100. It may be like 109, something like that. So I was
with
just
tax? Okay.
rounding.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I was using the approximate, but it's not
Okay.
$500. you know.
No, and I'm looking at the
Um,
No, and I'm
website
looking at the
now, and
website now, and
it's a really good website.
it's a
It's
really good
something
website.
that
It's something that
it's sad to
you know
say that when you
sad
get
to say
older,
that when you get older.
I'm in my 50ish,
I'm in my 50ish,
and
and
having to
having
really
to really
take notice
take notice
because I really never felt
because I
bad.
really never felt bad.
It never really
It
stopped
never
me.
really stopped
It never
me.
really hindered
It
me.
never really hindered me.
But now some
But
things are
now some
hindering
things are
me and
hindering
some
me,
things are
and
stopping
some
me. And
things
I'm
are
like, okay,
stopping me. And I'm like,
I
okay,
need to stop now.
I need to
So my
stop.
father
So
passed
my
away
father passed away
from
from
seizure,
uh,
not seizures,
seizures, not
from
seizures,
stroke.
from stroke.
But
mhm.
the stroke was
But the
caused
stroke was
by
caused by
hypertension
hypertension
and diabetes.
and diabetes.
And so I,
And
I'm
so
taking it
I'm
very, very
taking it
seriously
very, very
now,
seriously now,
and really, and it is
and it
challenging.
is, and it is
I'm not going to
challenging.
say
And
it's
I'm not
not.
going to
It
say
is
Right.
challenging for
not. It
people
is
that
challenging
deal with
for
it
people that deal with
because you
it
have to
because you
change
have to
your thinking,
change your thinking.
Yes.
not just change the
Mhm.
way
Not
you
just
eat. You
change the
have
way
to
you eat. You
change
have to
your
change
It's a
thinking.
lifestyle change.
It is a
Yeah.
it
huge
Mhm.
is a
lifestyle
huge
change,
lifestyle
Yeah.
change.
but it's worth it.
But it's worth it.
It's worth
Mhm.
it.
It's worth it.
Um,
Um,
so
so
the book now
the book
the
now
website
the website
hypertension hack the
hypertension hat,
clinic.
the clinic.
Now in this
Now
clinic
in this
you'll get
clinic, you'll get
what will you get?
what will you get?
Yeah, in this clinic, you'll get the lesson plan. You'll also have a digital copy of My Serial Killer, and you'll then have access to myself doing the video calls and coaching, um, access to the support, community. So those are the things that I find, are important.
Mhm.
Being able to have the plan in its entirety, and hypertension hack, that's almost like another book.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
100 and some odd pages, but in it, is all of the how to. And there's more information breaking down the certain elements of food. I do want to kind of go back and touch on something that you had said, as far as you said now, things are, sort of hindering you. And it's like I found myself over the years always arguing with individuals about being proactive, because I
Mhm.
find that we are a reactionary people. It's like we
Mhm.
wait for something to happen in order to then want to jump in gear.
Mhm.
So a lot of my advocacy, it deals with battling that mindset. And in the book My Serial Killer, The Silent Saboteur, I put a part in there about invincibility. And I put that in there because I don't think we consider, the fact of how there are parts of our life where we feel as if we're invincible,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And there's a science behind that, or there's a conversation around that, to where we need to check that, because that is one of the things that prolongs us into being reactionary, because we feel
Mhm.
like, oh, I'm okay, I'm fine, there's nothing wrong, but you don't realize that you're slowly dying,
But
every day,
But
and it just creeps up on you.
Zion,
Zion,
let me just take 2 minutes
let me just
real
take
quick.
2 minutes real quick.
Thank you guys. You guys are
Thank you guys. You
watching
guys are
the Way
watching
Christian
the
Talk.
Way
I
Christian
appreciate you
Talk.
guys
I
joining.
appreciate you guys joining.
Please
Please
share, tag,
share,
like.
tag, like.
We are on with
We are
Zion
on with
talking about
Zion talking
hypertension,
about
high blood
hypertension,
pressure,
high blood
and
pressure,
diabetes,
and
and some of the
diabetes, and
ways that we
some of
can
the
work
ways
at
that we
getting our
can work
numbers
at getting
down.
our numbers
And
down.
also talking about,
And
you see at
also
the bottom
talking
of the
about, you see at
screen,
the
it
bottom
says
of the screen, it
hypertension
says
at the
hypertension at
clinic.
the clinic.
And that is a website
And
that you
that is
can
a
go
website that
to,
you can
that
go
you can
to,
join his
that you can
clinic
join his clinic
and be able
and
to take
be able
part
to take part
in getting
in
yourself
getting
healthy.
yourself healthy.
There is a minimal
There is a
cost of
minimal cost
only
of only
$100, or maybe a
$100,
hundred
or maybe a
and
hundred
some
and
change.
About
And so
109, somewhere
about
around there.
109. And so I do want to thank you guys. Please share and tag. This is so important, especially for our community. You know, Zion, the thing
is that
I'm learning that
I'm learning that
in our
in
community,
our community,
because we've seen it for
because we've
so many
seen it for
generations.
so many generations.
You know, grandma had
Grandma
hypertension, her
had
mom had
hypertension, her
hypertension,
mom
all
had
of our aunts and
hypertension,
uncles
all of
had
our aunts and
hypertension.
uncles had
You
hypertension.
know, our
You
our
know,
our family members
our
have
family members have
diabetes. And so
diabetes, and
we
so
have seen
we
this
have seen this
generation after generation after
generation after
generation,
generation after
and
generation,
not
and
necessarily
not
taking care of
necessarily
ourselves
taking care of
generation
ourselves
after
Right.
generation
generation
after
after
generation.
generation after
It's just
generation.
like
It's
financially.
just like
You know,
financially.
we do not teach
We do not
our
teach
children how to
our
be
children how to
financially
be financially
wealthy, how to be financially
wealthy, how to be
okay, how to,
financially okay,
how to do those
how
things.
to do those
And
things.
so when they
And
get
so when
older,
they get
they don't know
older,
how to,
they don't know
you
how to
know,
know
balance their checkbooks. They
balance
don't
their
know how to
checkbook.
have a
They don't
checking
know how to
account. They
have
don't
a
know how to
checking account.
save
They don't
money.
know how to save
But on
money.
the other side
But
of
on the
health,
other side of
we
health,
also don't
we
teach
also
our
don't teach
younger
our
the younger
our
generation
younger generation
how to do it better.
how to do it better.
Mhm.
So, in
So,
this, we always say, well,
in
that's in
this,
my
we always say, well,
bloodline.
that's in my
You know,
bloodline.
it's always been,
It's always
everybody's
been,
always had
everybody's
hypertension.
always had
And so
hypertension.
since you've never
And so
seen it
since you've never
done,
seen it
it's
done,
hard to think,
it's
okay, it
hard
can
to
be
think,
done.
okay, it can be done.
Nothing is wrong with my mother.
Nothing is wrong with my mother.
She does have
She
hypertension, but
does
she
have
is
hypertension,
controlling
but she
it
is controlling
with
it
her eating
with her eating
and the foods that she
and
eats.
the foods that she eats.
Um,
Okay.
but she doesn't have
But she doesn't
she doesn't have
have,
diabetes.
have diabetes.
On my father's
On
side,
my father's
you dealt
side,
with both.
you dealt with both.
But I never,
But I never,
in our
in
community,
our
we
community,
are almost the
we
last
are
ones to
almost the
say,
last
okay,
ones to
we're
say,
in
okay,
trouble.
we're in trouble.
Until
Until
we're in trouble.
Yeah.
we're in trouble.
Yeah. That's
And so,
my purpose and point. Yeah.
yeah. And so I
Is to
really
point those
appreciate
things
this.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate
So
the fact that
and
you have this.
Mhm. I said, let me let folks know the website is not active just yet. You can go to it and look around,
Mhm.
but you can't shop just yet. Hopefully by the end of the month here we'll have things up and going with that. And just touching on the point of being reactionary, that,
Mhm.
like I said, is one of the things I really have to deal with people mentally on.
Mhm.
And the point of what you're saying, like generationally. I deal with that too because it doesn't have to be
Mhm.
generationally. It's only generational because we carry on the habits.
Mhm.
But, and the choices are getting more worse as far
Right.
as, what we can consume, which the book that I have ready to come after my serial killer, the silent saboteur, is the harmful trick, the
The
illusion
harmful
of
trick.
food,
The harmful trick.
the
You know
harmful
that
trick,
is now
the illusion of
the food.
food. And in that, I go into explaining the difference between what food is, because I don't think we've analyzed like really what food is. There's food, and then there are non-food substances,
Mhm.
right? So I try to, show in all honesty how we've been tricked. That's why I call it the harmful trick, and it's the illusion of food. And I go into the nanotechnology and this whole thing where they're
Mhm.
now processing the meats, and it's a even more breakdown of the chemicals and how they're turning our fecal matter and waste into food and telling you it's good to eat. Now trust and believe, they're not going to be eating this, but they want to convince us, and those within vulnerable communities, that to take this type of substance, that it's going to be good, for you. And I'm like, that is a harmful trick, and it's not food. So we need to come to understand what's happening, and these conversations need to be held more and more within our communities. And we have to We have to get our people involved, because I'm telling you, the issue is most people don't think anything is wrong until something is wrong. It's like it has to land on your doorstep before you're now like, oh, I need to get involved. And to me, I'm just saying that's a sad thing
That
for
is.
us. And, you know, hopefully through the advocacy and through this health initiative, you know, I can gain the support, you know, of, you know, our community, because we're the ones who suffer the most from
Right.
almost everything, right? And, you know, look to take these positive results that have been passively, you know, handed on to others. And now by introducing in this clinic, looking to, you know, take on about 20,000 different individuals that we can show how successful this can be. First of all, by looking at what it means to, you know, change our lifestyles and having support systems in that and making it something that's affordable. That's the key part. It has to be affordable, you know.
Right. My thing
Right.
is
My
that
thing is that
if we could
if we could
have more
have more
information
information
that would
that
help our
would
community,
help
because
our community, because
I would much
I
rather
would
go
much
to
rather go to
a holistic
a holistic
doctor
Mhm.
doctor
and take care
and
of
take
my
care of
diabetes and my
my
blood pressure
diabetes
in a
and my blood
holistic
pressure in
way
a holistic way
with
Mhm.
supplements and
with
also
supplements
eating.
and also eating.
There's just not a lot of
There's just not a
people
lot of people
that are out there
that are
that
out there that
can help you,
can help you
that I have found.
Okay.
that I have found.
We're
So
changing that.
I
So
just went on your
I just
website
went on
and
your
I just
website
Yeah.
put
and
my
I
name in.
put
I'm
my
interested
name in. I'm
because
interested
I am one that's
because I am
interested.
one
I
that
have,
I
you know, my
have.
numbers are not,
My numbers
they're
are not.
getting,
Are
my
they're
A1C
getting
is
my
8.
A1C is 8.
Um, I
Um,
would like to just,
I would like to
I
just
take insulin.
I take insulin
And I also take
and
something
I
else
also
called
take something
Trulicity.
else called Trulicity,
And then I take a blood
and then I
pressure
take a blood
medication
pressure
at night.
medication at night.
I would like
I would
to
like to
be healthier
be healthier
than what my father
than
was
what my father was
because I don't want
Okay.
the same
because I don't
outcome.
want the same outcome.
So if I don't,
So
if
I don't
I think
if
that
I think
I
that
can keep going the way
I
that
can
I'm
keep going
going
the way
and
that
not
I'm
have
going
the same
and not have
outcome,
the same
then
outcome,
I'm insane
then I'm insane.
because
Because that's
the definition of
the
insanity.
definition of insanity.
Mhm.
And so I
And so
want
I
to
want
have a different
to
outcome
have
means
a
I have
different
to do
outcome
something
means I
different.
have to do
So
something
I'm
different.
very
So
interested
I'm
in
very
keeping up
interested
with
in
you
keeping up with you
in this manner
in this
and
matter
definitely having you
and
back
definitely having you back
to show
to
more
show
of this
more
to our
of this
community and
to
get
our
this
community
out
and
and
get
let
this
them know
out and let
because
them
I don't
know,
think a lot of
because I don't think a
people
lot of people
really understand
really
because it
understand
turns
because it
into
turns into
heart failure. I've
heart
had
failure.
somebody to
I've
die
had
from heart
somebody to die
failure.
Right.
from heart failure.
I have
Mhm.
a friend of
I
mine
have a friend of mine that
that's in
has
congestional
that's
heart
in
failure
congestional
right
heart
now.
failure right
That's have
now.
had to
Clogged
That
have
arteries,
have
yeah.
had
a
a
club
lot of
right. Had
club
to have
right,
stents
Mhm.
had to have
in many
stents
different
in
parts
many different
of
parts
her heart.
of her heart.
I've seen
I've
people
seen people
lose limbs
lose limbs
Yep.
and then
and then
eventually
eventually
lose their
lose
life.
their life.
And I'm
Mhm.
at the
And
point where
where
my children are now
my
watching
children
me.
are now watching me.
Right.
So I need
So
to do
I need
something
to do something
uh,
uh,
different. Now I do have a
different.
question.
I do have a question.
I
My
love my
mother,
mother,
I
and
love
my
my
mother
mother,
is here.
and my mother is
And
here.
she said,
And
"What is this?
she said, "What's this?"
Oh, I know.
Oh,
Oh,
I
she
know.
told me I'm echoing.
Oh, she told me I'm echoing.
I know. So
I
that's
know.
okay.
So that's
But
okay. But
I just want to do
I
something
just want to
different
do
so
something
they
different so
can
they can
have an example
have an example
Mhm.
of what you do differently.
of what you do.
One of the first steps is being proactive, and I'm asking individuals to add that word, you know, into your daily vocabulary, and, you know, study that word and make it a part, of our life and of our community, being proactive. It's key, to the success within healing and turning our health around, because we can heal and we can have stronger immune systems. And one of the things, people couldn't believe when that whole C-19 thing hit. I never wore a mask and I went everywhere. I was all up in the protests. I mean, I went everywhere. I never got sick. And, by the grace of God, I never got sick. And I explained to people, it's because I have been, over the years, being proactive is what has helped me throughout this time, to where now I don't have to deal, with medication, and being able to provide this type of advocacy and say to individuals, it's real, but you have to want it. And I say, I used to tell the young folks, like, the most important thing you're going to do in life is make a decision. So I
Mm-hmm.
find myself telling adults that, now, because the decisions we make, they're either going to help to push you forward, or they continue to set us back. So
Right.
when it comes to our health, it's time to get serious. It's time to be proactive, because the only other option is the loss of limbs, heart surgery. You're only going to go down, and continue to go down, because the medications, they have other side, effects. It's supposed to help you for this, but then it attacks something else. So, it's a cascading, way of progression, that these medicines, and like I said, the experts and professionals, they're on something else. I mean, it's really not their job to help you heal. It's just not their job. It doesn't benefit them to do that. So I just say we have to be, caution. We have to use caution when dealing with these professionals and these experts, because that's their business. That's their livelihood, to, push that medicine and to deal in that practice. So healing is a totally separate animal. And a lot of times the concept or the art of healing, it runs counter to what a number of the professionals and experts are out there talking about. Now, I'm not saying that they're just ignorant and do not have any, valuable information to put forward, but
Mm-hmm.
we as individuals have to be the ones that assess the information, and decide how we're going to, go about our health.
Mm-hmm. So I did
So
want
I did
to
want to
show the book.
show the book.
So it's called The
So it's
Serial
called The
Killer.
Serial Killer.
And where can they get this
And where
book?
can they get this book?
So right now, because the website is not up just yet, but right now, if someone wanted to get a copy of the book, um, they would they could either reach me on that Instagram at the cause 2K, and they can DM me and say they want the book, or they can cash app me $30, and that's $ the cause 2K. And when they cash app me, they can have a note in there with their address, with their address. Um, but it's good if you're familiar with Instagram. It's good to go on Instagram at the cause 2K. That's my music platform, by the way. You go there and you shoot me a private message, and I'll make sure you get the book. And once you do the Cash App, just make sure you have your name and address, on there. You can put your contact information in there, because I'd like to let the book is on the way, things of that nature. But on Instagram, it's at the cause 2K. If you do Instagram, unfortunately, I'm not on Facebook, just yet. So um, that yeah, that Instagram at the cause 2K is how you want to reach me. And I'll make sure I get you a copy of the book because I did get some early copies, for family and friends until we get the website, up and going. So yes, yeah, come to me on Instagram or just cash at me at the cause 2K with the dollar sign.
Okay. I did want
I did
to.
want to.
This is really important
This is
information.
really
I
important
thank
information.
everybody
I
for
thank
looking at
everybody for
the
looking
Way
at
Christian Talk.
the White
Please
Christian
forgive the
Talk.
echo.
Please
We
forgive
try
the
to take it
echo.
out,
We
but
try to
because
take
it's
it out,
live,
but
we're not
because
able
it's
to take it
live, we're
out.
not able to take it out.
Um, but I
Um,
wanted to
but
go
I wanted
into a
to
different
go into
area.
a different area.
You had said
You
that
had
you
said that
are now into
you are
music.
now into music.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Tell me a
Yes.
little bit about that.
Well, music was like one of my first endeavors as a child. I got into music, and I aspired to be an artist and have the record label, and I did really well as a young man. I was able to get on Atlantic Records, and I was able to chart number 7 on Billboard.
Okay.
But the creator had something else in mind for me, and I stopped doing music while I was, as some would say, on the top. And at Atlantic Records, they were saying, "Oh, you're gonna be our next number 1 act." But the creator had something else, in mind for me, and I kind of went into my spiritual journey at that point. So I walked away from the music industry and started to learn other things, such as the art of eating and health, and just the whole spirituality, and just becoming a whole person from that standpoint. So I stepped away from the music, and I didn't like the ethics, the way individuals functioned, or was treating each other in the
Mm,
music industry. So I had become an advocate at some point in time, teaching younger artists like the pitfalls, what to look for. And I managed certain groups in the industry, so I just kind of walked away from it. And um, here recently, about 2 years ago, or 2.5, almost 3 years ago, one of my friends, the legendary DJ Nabs, you guys may know him. He did the Michael Jackson tour, Crisscross, Escape, SWV. I mean, his list goes on and on. But he called me, one day, and he was expressing how he was setting up his company, and he invited me to do a song. And I thought about it, and I'm like, man, I hung the mic up. I gave my studio away, and I was like, I thought I was done, with music. But him and I, once we came together, the chemistry was really good. And for the first time, in my life, I felt like I was able to do music and not have to like focus on what's so-called trending. I could kind of do what's in my heart, type thing. So it was fun getting back into it from that standpoint. And we have just done some phenomenal things as far as the sound and the content. And we've done the takeover, we've done the takeover 2. You can go on Spotify, Apple Music. You can look for the Cause 2K, DJ Nabs, and our music will pop up there. We're working on this next project. It's called Project Noah, This World, and that's a totally different sound that we have coming. So, this music, it's something that it's been in me for a long time. And today I'm creating some of the best music that I've ever created in my life. And, DJ Nabs, one of my longtime friends, I thank you, brother, for inviting me and calling me back to, do this. It's been a lot of fun.
Well, we
Well,
are
we
now
are now
at the end of the show. That
at the
went
end
so
of the show.
quickly.
That went so quickly.
But I do
But I
have
do
one of
have
the videos,
one of the
and the
videos,
video that I
and the
do
video that
have
I do have
is what it
is
be.
what it be.
What it be?
What it be.
What
And
it be.
so to close
And
out the
so to
show,
close
I'm
out
going
the
to go ahead
show,
and show
I'm
what it
going to
be.
go
But I
ahead and show
want
what
you
it
to
be.
tell
But I want
everybody
you to
before
tell
we show the
everybody
video,
before we show the
this is
video.
the information at the
This is the
bottom of the
information at the
screen.
bottom
Is
of the
there any
screen.
other
Is there
information that
any
you
other
want to
information
give
that you
out
want to give
to our
out
audience
to our audience
for them to
for
be
them
able
to
to
be able to
get contact
get
you?
contact you?
Well, I would just say, you guys, if you're into Instagram, just link up with me on Instagram at the cause 2K. We have moxmotor.com, getting ready to open up so that we can facilitate your health needs, to get into more healing. So we'll kind of give more insight or links to where we can be met. You can go to mcityworld.com to look at even more music than what's on Spotify and Apple Music, because we have certain things that we don't even put out, but we put them on that website. So there's a list of different things. I'm sure you'll find something that you like. And one thing we're looking at is now, for us, we're a lot older, so we grew up on hip hop, so we have this adult, type hip hop that's going on right now, and not trying to do what the young folks are doing, but the music that I'm putting out there, it's got that message, to it. It's saying something. So I'm gonna kind of leave it, right there, so we can close out.
I appreciate you,
I
Zion.
appreciate you, Zion.
I thank you. I definitely want to have you
I
back
definitely want to have you
because
back
I definitely want
because I definitely
to
want
talk
to
about
talk about
hypertension hack.
hypertension
I
hack.
want to keep up with
I
that.
want to keep up with that.
I want to let
I
as
want
many
to
people
let
know.
as many people
So
know.
that's something
So
that I
that's
definitely want to
something
have you
that I
back
definitely want
for.
to have you back for.
And whatever
And
information that
whatever
I can help
information
you
that
to
I
get
can
out
help you to get
concerning
out concerning
helping our
uh,
community be
helping our
healthy,
community be healthy,
let me know.
let me know.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome.
So do you
Thank
want
you
to
for
go
having
ahead?
me.
Do you
You're
want to go
welcome. Do you
ahead?
want to
You're
introduce
welcome. Do you want to introduce
your video?
your video?
Yes, indeed, you all. You're getting ready to check out the Cause 2K and DJ Navs. We have this song right here. Shelly pulled out. It's called "What It Be." Check it out.
All right, you guys. Thank
All
you
right, you
for
guys. Thank you
being here,
for
and here it
being here, and
goes.
here it goes.
It's impossible not to know when you're falling. See the ground coming up, but you just want to keep screaming, you ballin'. Frontin' like success is the house, the cars, the money, the girls, the clothes, and the gold chains on your neck. Got you living in the moment till you self-destruct. Got me feeling like I'm on a mission impossible. When y'all don't want to hear it, y'all get awesome. Can I get a drum roll? This that holy music, words that touch your soul. Yeah, what it be?
I liked it. I liked it.
I like that.
So
Yeah, we had a lot of fun doing that video.
yeah, I like that video.
Yeah, I like that.
All right, Zion. Thank
All
you
right,
so much
Zion.
for being a
Thank
part
you
of our
so much
show.
for being a part of our show.
Thank you, Shelly, for having me back. The
You're
way
welcome.
Christians talk. I look forward to it. It was great. And
You're
until
welcome.
the next
You're
time,
welcome.
All right.
be safe.
All
You
right.
too.
You too.
Bye bye. All right, guys, that was the Way Christian Talk show with Zion. You can definitely go to his website and find out more information. And that's his number at the bottom of the screen. I just want to thank everybody for watching the Way Christian Talk. Join me next Thursday at 7 p.m. and for my surprise guest. And so join me next week. Thank you guys and peace.
It's impossible not to know when you're